Have you ever had a moment where something felt too perfectly timed to be random? Like you were thinking about something deep inside your heart, and suddenly, a verse appears. A reminder shows up. A person says exactly what you needed, and you stop. Because something inside you whispers, was that Allah? Let me tell you something comforting today. Allah is always sending you messages. Not in the way we imagine, not always loud, not always dramatic, but in ways so gentle, so personal, that only your heart will recognize them. Sometimes Allah's message comes when you feel lost. You're trying to smile, trying to stay strong, but inside, you feel heavy. And then you hear a khutbah that speaks directly to your struggle. Or you open the Qur'an, and the first verse you read feels like it was written for you in that exact moment. That is not coincidence. That is Allah guiding you back softly. And sometimes Allah sends a message through delay. You keep asking, you keep praying, and nothing changes. Days pass, months pass, and you wonder, did Allah hear me? But what if the delay is the message? What if Allah is saying not yet? Because you're not ready, because something better is coming, because I am protecting you. Some of the greatest mercy comes in what didn't happen, and sometimes Allah sends a message through unexpected pain, a heartbreak, a closed door, a friendship that ends, a dream that falls apart, and you think, why is this happening to me? But later, much later, you realize it saved you, it redirected you, it brought you closer to Him. Pain is not always punishment. Sometimes pain is Allah's way of waking the soul up. And if this is speaking to your heart right now, take a moment and subscribe to the Peace Whisper. Because this channel is here to remind you, you are never alone on this journey back to Allah. Now listen closely. Allah also sends messages through people. A stranger smiles at the exact moment you were about to break. A friend calls you when you were silently crying. A mother makes dua for you without even knowing what you're facing. Allah places mercy in human form around you. And sometimes the message is simply, I see you. And one of the most beautiful ways Allah sends a message is through the quiet feeling inside your chest, that sudden pull to pray, that urge to repent, that desire to change. That moment you whisper, Ya Allah, I need you. That is not you being emotional. That is Allah calling you. Because guidance is a gift. And Allah does not call someone He wants to abandon. But here is the question. What if the message you've been waiting for is already all around you? What if Allah has been answering in ways you didn't expect, through a delay, through a verse, through a closed door, through a moment of peace after tears? So today, I want you to pause and reflect. What has Allah been trying to show you lately? Maybe the message is come back. Maybe it is trust me. Maybe it is let go. Maybe it is you are stronger than you think. So tell me in the comments, have you ever experienced a moment where you knew Allah was sending you a sign? I would love to read your story. And if this reminder touched your heart, share it with someone who might need it today. Because Allah's messages spread through hearts, one reminder at a time. Stay close, because the next message might be coming sooner than you think. Divine timing is one of the most beautiful and hardest parts of faith. Because as humans, we want answers now, we want relief now, we want clarity now. We want the door to open immediately, the pain to disappear quickly, the dua to be answered on our schedule. But Allah does not work on our timeline. Allah works on a timeline that is perfect even when we cannot understand it. There are moments in life when you feel like everything is slow, like nothing is moving, like you are doing everything you can, praying, trying, staying patient, but still the situation remains the same. And in those moments, the heart starts to question, not Allah's power, but Allah's plan. You wonder, why is it taking so long? Why is it so difficult? Why is the answer not coming? But what if the delay is not a denial? What if the delay itself is a message? Divine timing means that Allah knows the exact moment something should enter your life. Not a second too early, not a second too late, because if it came too early, it might harm you. If it came too late, you might lose hope. Allah places things in your path when your soul is ready, when your life can carry it, when it will bring you closer. not further. Sometimes Allah delays what you want because He is preparing you. You ask for something big, but you are still growing. You are still learning. You are still becoming the person who can handle the blessing without losing yourself. If Allah gave you everything immediately, you might forget Him. You might become distracted. You might think you did it on your own. And sometimes Allah delays because He is protecting you from what you cannot see. You may be asking for something that looks good, feels good, sounds good, but Allah knows what is hidden inside it. Allah knows the future of it. Allah knows how it will affect your heart, your faith, your peace. So He holds it back. Not because He is ignoring you, but because He loves you too much to give you what would break you later. Think about how many times you wanted something so badly, and when it didn't happen, you were crushed. But later, you look back and realized, Alhamdulillah, it didn't happen. That was divine timing. That was Allah saving you in a way you didn't recognize at the moment. Divine timing also teaches surrender. It teaches you to trust when you don't understand. It teaches you to keep making dua, even when the answer feels far away. Because faith is not only believing Allah can do something. Faith is believing Allah knows when. Some of the most powerful stories of believers are stories of waiting. Waiting for relief. Waiting for healing. Waiting for a door to open. Waiting for ease after hardship. And the waiting itself becomes an act of worship. Patience is not passive. Patience is strength. Patience is staying connected to Allah while everything feels uncertain. Allah's timing is always connected to wisdom. You may think you are being delayed, but maybe you are being redirected. Maybe what is coming is greater than what you asked for. Maybe Allah is writing a story for you that will make sense later, not now. So if you are in a season of waiting, don't assume Allah has forgotten you. Waiting is not emptiness. Waiting is preparation. Waiting is mercy in disguise. Allah hears every dua, counts every tear, and knows every silent struggle inside your chest. Divine timing means that your life is not random. Your delays are not meaningless. Your unanswered questions are not ignored. Everything is moving with purpose. Even when you cannot see it yet, the Qur'an is not just a book that we read. It is a living guidance from Allah, a message that speaks to the heart in every season of life. Many people think the Qur'an is only for scholars, only for those who understand Arabic perfectly, only for those who are already strong in faith. But the truth is, the Qur'an was sent for the one who is struggling, the one who is searching, the one who feels lost, the one who needs light in the middle of darkness. Allah did not send the Qur'an as a decoration for our shelves. He sent it as a mercy, as a companion, as a roadmap back to Him. And one of the most powerful things about the Qur'an is that it meets you exactly where you are. You can open it on a day when your heart feels heavy, and you will find words that feel like they were revealed for your pain. You can open it when you feel anxious, and it calms you. You can open it when you feel confused, and it guides you. The Qur'an is Allah speaking to you, not only to the people of the past, but to you, right now, in your life, in your situation. Sometimes we forget that guidance is not always a loud sign in the sky. Guidance is often quiet. It comes through a verse that suddenly stays in your mind. It comes through a reminder that makes your heart soften. It comes through a feeling that Allah sees you, even when no one else does. There are moments when a person is overwhelmed by life. Problems pile up, relationships become complicated, the future feels uncertain, and you don't even know what to ask Allah for anymore. You just feel stuck. And then you hear a verse like, "Indeed, with hardship comes ease." And something inside you breathes again. Not because your problems disappeared, but because Allah reminded you that hardship is never permanent. The Qur'an gives perspective. It reminds you that this world is not the final home, that pain is not the end of the story, that Allah is always near, that your struggles are seen, that your patience is counted, that your tears are not wasted. The Qur'an also corrects us. Sometimes we think we are fine, but our hearts have drifted. We become too attached to dunya. We chase things that don't bring peace. We forget our purpose. And then a verse comes like a gentle warning, pulling you back before you go too far. That is guidance. That is Allah rescuing you through His words. And what is beautiful is that the Qur'an does not only guide you with commands, it guides you with stories. Stories of prophets who felt fear, grief, loneliness, rejection. Stories that remind you that even the most beloved servants of Allah faced hardship. You are not weak for struggling. You are human. And the Qur'an shows you how they turn back to Allah again and again. The Qur'an is also a mirror. When you read it sincerely, it shows you what is inside you. It reveals what needs healing. It awakens what has become numb. It invites you to grow. That is why people who connect with the Qur'an feel different, not because life becomes perfect, but because their hearts become anchored. Sometimes the message you are waiting for is already written. You are asking Allah for clarity, but the answer is in His book. You are asking for comfort, but comfort is in His words. You are asking for direction, but direction is already there, waiting for you to open it with sincerity. Even reading one verse with reflection can change the state of your heart. Even listening to the Qur'an for a few minutes can bring peace that nothing else can provide, because it is not human speech. It is divine. It carries a light that reaches places inside you that nothing else can touch. So when life feels noisy, return to the Qur'an. When your heart feels tired, return to the Qur'an. When you don't know what Allah wants from you, return to the Qur'an. Because Allah sends guidance through it, again and again. For every believer who is willing to listen, hidden mercy in delays is one of the deepest lessons a believer can learn. Because delays are uncomfortable. Waiting is heavy. When you want something badly, and it doesn't happen, the heart starts to feel restless. You begin to wonder why Allah is holding something back. You make dua, you try. You stay hopeful, but the answer doesn't come in the way you expected. And yet so often, Allah's mercy is hidden inside what feels like silence. We live in a world that teaches us that fast is better, immediate results, instant answers, quick solutions. But Allah is not rushed. Allah is Al-Hakim, the most wise. His timing is never random, and His delays are never empty. Sometimes Allah delays something because He is saving you from harm you cannot see. You might be asking for a door to open, but behind that door is something that would have broken your heart. You might be begging for a relationship, but Allah knows what that relationship would have done to your faith. You might be desperate for an opportunity, but Allah knows it would have pulled you away from Him. So He delays, not because He is ignoring you, because He is protecting you. A child cries when a parent takes something dangerous away. The child doesn't understand, but the parent does. In the same way, we cry over what we think we need, while Allah, in His mercy, holds it back because He knows what we do not. Sometimes the delay is mercy, because Allah wants you to grow closer to Him. If everything came easily, you might not pray as deeply. You might not turn to Him with sincerity. You might not feel your need for Him. But in the waiting, you find yourself calling on Allah more. You find yourself making dua in the quiet. You find yourself learning patience, learning reliance, learning what it means to truly trust. And that closeness is a gift. Sometimes Allah delays because what you are asking for is real, but the timing is not right. You are not ready yet. Your heart is still healing. Your character is still forming. Your life is still unfolding. Allah knows that if He gave it to you now, it might overwhelm you. It might distract you. It might even become a test you cannot handle. So the delay becomes preparation. Mercy is not only in receiving. Mercy is also in being prepared to receive. And sometimes the delay is mercy because Allah is planning something far better. You are holding on to one small dream, while Allah is writing something greater. You are focused on one outcome, while Allah sees the full picture. What you want may be good, but what Allah wants for you is better. That is why the believer learns to say, Ya Allah, I trust You, even when the heart feels impatient, even when the mind feels confused, even when the waiting feels long, because hidden mercy is often revealed later. Think about how many times you were disappointed, only to look back and realize that disappointment saved you. That delay redirected you. That closed door led you to a better path. That unanswered dua was not rejection, but protection. Allah does not waste your tears. Allah does not ignore your prayers. Every moment of waiting is counted. Every sigh is heard. Every hardship is written with purpose. The delay may feel like absence, but Allah is present in it. The delay may feel like loss, but Allah is giving you something through its strength. Patience, purification, closeness. Sometimes Allah gives you what you want right away, and sometimes Allah gives you something far more valuable. The ability to trust Him without seeing the outcome. Hidden mercy in delays means that even when you don't understand what is happening, you are still being cared for. Your life is still under Allah's control. The answer is still coming, just not in the way you imagined, and not in the timing you demanded. So when you are waiting, don't only ask, when will it happen? Ask, what is Allah teaching me right now? Because the delay itself may be the messages through trials are one of the most powerful ways Allah speaks to the human heart. Because trials have a way of stripping life down to what is real. In ease, we get distracted. In comfort, we forget. But in hardship, the soul becomes awake. In hardship, the heart turns upward. In hardship, we begin to listen. Many people think that a trial means Allah is angry with them. That suffering is always punishment. But that is not the Islamic understanding. Trials are not always a sign of rejection. Very often, trials are a sign of attention. A sign that Allah is calling you closer. A sign that Allah is shaping you, refining you, and guiding you through what hurts. Allah does not waste pain. Every hardship carries a message. Sometimes the message is to return. A person can drift slowly without noticing. Life becomes busy. Prayer becomes rushed. The heart becomes attached to dunya. Then a trial comes. And suddenly you remember Allah in a way you forgot before. Suddenly you cry in sujud. Suddenly you realize how much you need Him. That trial was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to bring you back. Sometimes the message is to let go. We hold on to things that are not meant for us. Relationships, dreams, plans, attachments. We think they are everything. But Allah knows what is truly good for us. So a trial comes and removes what we were clinging to, not to punish, but to free us. Because sometimes what you lose is what was blocking your path to Allah. Sometimes the message is purification. The Prophet taught us that even a thorn that pricks a believer removes sins. Trials cleanse the soul. They wipe away burdens we do not even realize we carry. In hardship, Allah is elevating you. He is preparing you for a level of Jannah you could not reach without patience. And sometimes the message is strength. You do not know how strong you are until life tests you. You do not know what faith is inside you until you are forced to rely on Allah. Trials reveal what is real. They reveal what is inside the heart. And they build resilience that comfort never could. Think about the prophets. The most beloved to Allah were tested the most. Yusuf was betrayed and imprisoned. Musa faced fear and oppression. Maryam carried hardship alone. The Prophet himself experienced loss, rejection, grief. If trials meant Allah's anger, the prophets would have been the first to be spared. But they were tested because Allah was raising them, teaching them, and making them examples for us. So when you are going through something difficult, do not assume Allah has abandoned you. Sometimes the trial is proof that Allah is with you, shaping you through what you cannot yet understand. Trials also expose what matters. In hardship, you realize who is truly there for you. In hardship, you realize what your heart has been depending on. In hardship, you realize that the only constant is Allah, and that realization is one of the greatest gifts. Sometimes the message is patience, not passive patience, but active patience. Patience that keeps praying, patience that keeps trusting, patience that keeps believing that Allah's help is near, even when the night feels long. And sometimes the message is that this world is not home. We were not created for endless comfort here. This life is temporary. Trials remind us not to build our hearts too deeply into dunya. They remind us that the real reward is with Allah. Every trial carries a door to dua, a door to closeness, a door to purification, a door to a new version of yourself. So instead of only asking why me, ask, what is Allah showing me? Because Allah speaks through trials in ways that ease never can. And if you listen closely, even the hardest moment may be carrying a divine message. meant just for you. Allah's signs in daily life are all around us, but many people move too quickly to notice. We think that a message from Allah has to be something extraordinary, something miraculous, something that shakes the world. But often, Allah speaks in quiet ways, gentle ways, personal ways, signs that are woven into the ordinary moments of your day. One of the greatest mistakes we make is believing Allah is distant, that He only responds in big events. But Allah is near, closer than we can imagine, and His signs appear constantly for the one who is paying attention. Sometimes a sign comes through a sudden moment of peace. You are overwhelmed, your mind is racing, your heart is heavy, and then without explanation you feel calm. That calm is not random. That calm is sakina, tranquility from Allah, a reminder that He is holding you, even when life feels uncertain. Sometimes Allah sends a sign through a reminder that reaches you at the perfect time. You scroll and you see a verse. You hear a lecture and it speaks directly to your struggle. A friend says something that touches the exact wound you were hiding, and you pause because it feels too precise to be coincidence. That is Allah guiding you gently, showing you that you are seen. Allah's signs also appear in the way He opens and closes doors. A plan falls apart, and you feel disappointed, but later you realize it saved you. An opportunity appears that you never expected, and it changes your path. These shifts are not accidents. Allah is directing your steps, even when you don't understand the map. Sometimes the sign is in the unanswered dua. You keep asking for something, and it doesn't come, and you think Allah is silent. But what if the silence is protection? What if Allah is keeping something away because He knows it would harm your heart or weaken your faith? The believer learns that not receiving can be a sign of mercy. Allah's signs are also